Alrighty guys, welcome. Today we are going to design and send out our very first Infusionsoft email broadcast. Now to get started, I'm already on my dashboard here, so all you'll have to do is just go ahead, log into Infusionsoft, and it'll usually bring you to your dashboard. If not, it'll show you the basic training or initial setup screen, depending on what you have accomplished so far in the app. Now, to send out an email broadcast, we're going to go up here to our navigation. Under marketing, we're going to click email and broadcasts. Once we're here, we're going to go ahead, click get started button. And then from here, we have a couple different options that you can pick from if you would like. These are just some basic templates. Down here we have a simple text one if you want a more personalized feel. Simple call to action right here. A couple different options that you can choose from if you want. I like to personally just start from a blank slate. So to do that, we're going to go up to the actions button right here, and we're going to click create blank email. And this is going to open up our email creator or whatnot. So you're going to have this big bar right here at the top. We're not going to worry about this right now. We're just going to click that button so it hides away from us. So this is how the email creator works. You have a couple different options here on the left side, and you can basically just click, drag, and drop what you want into the email. I'm going to go ahead and insert an image. So to do that, you're just going to click and go ahead, drag it onto your canvas and let go. And so now you see I do have an image right here, and on the left side I have an image library. So now we're just going to kind of go through this. I'm going to show you a couple different elements, and we're going to create a little mock email. And at the top here, I usually like to add the company logo. That way when people open up their emails, they know exactly who it's from. So I'm just going to click that. This is the little logo I have already. We're going to scale it down a little bit. Doesn't have to be that big. And there we go. Now right under that, you can add a banner or you can add some text. I like to go for the banner or the email header, some people like to call it. And as I mentioned before, I already have example assets in my Infusionsoft library. So let's say we inserted this image right here and it is just way too small. As you can see, you have a bunch of white space right there, right there. You want it to cover the whole email. So what you're going to do, you're going to go over to the size here, and you can simply bump this up all the way. And as you can see, it now covers your entire email. If we click the preview button here, this is what mobile users will see. It's going to span across the whole email block. Same thing on tablet and desktop users. Alright, now we have our header in there. We have a couple different options of what we can do with it. Now previously, Infusionsoft did have a in-client image editor. However, it does look as of recently it was removed. So you can no longer edit images within Infusionsoft itself. If you want to do that, you have to go outside Infusionsoft, edit the image, import it back into Infusionsoft, and go from there. But you have a change image button right here that obviously changes the image. Size, we've been already. Image link. Now this is really important. Let's go ahead, click image link. You'll see you have a bunch of different options here. So you have URL, email address, phone number, file download, landing page, web form, and order form. Basically what that means is whenever someone clicks this inside their email, clicks the header, it's going to send them to either a URL, email address, phone number, etc. So there's a couple cool things you can do here. Say for example, you just want to send it to your home page. What you're going to do is type in wherever your home page is. I'm going to go ahead, type in our home page, and boom, you're done. So as soon as someone opens up this email and they click that, it's going to go ahead and send them to your home page or whatever URL you specify. Another really cool thing you can do here is tag your customers. Now if you don't know what tagging is, basically it's a way to organize and segment your CRM database. So let's go ahead and add a tag in here. I have a couple different ones. I'll just go ahead and add that one. So basically what will happen when someone clicks this, they're going to be tagged in the CRM database with this tag right here. That way you can go back in Infusionsoft and say you want to see exactly who clicked that link or who clicked the header. You can just look up that tag and it will tell you exactly. And then like I said before, email address, you can put an email address in here so when they click the banner, it will pull up Outlook or whatever their native email client is, their default email client, and it will send an email to whoever's email address is in this box. We have phone number. If they're on mobile, this works. Not so much on desktop unless they're doing it through Skype or something. Basically, when they click it, it's just going to pull up their phone calling app and it'll just call that number. File download. This one is really useful actually. So you can upload files into Infusionsoft, and when they click this, it's going to automatically download it to their computer. So this is really helpful if you're sending invoices or a catering menu or something like that. You can put that not just within an image, but within other aspects as well. And of course, you can tag them as well, which is helpful. Now, landing page. Basically, how this works, this is within Infusionsoft itself. So I believe no matter what plan you have with Infusionsoft, even the lowest plans, you can create landing pages with their client. Basically, landing pages are just web pages people land at to help sell them on your product or whatnot. So if you already have some built in Infusionsoft, you can go ahead and link them directly in here. That's a little more helpful, and then you can also tag them as well. Now, let's say you don't have a landing page within Infusionsoft, but you do have it elsewhere. Of course, you can always just go back to the URL and type in wherever your landing page link is. So that is kind of nice to have an option directly linked within Infusionsoft. Web form. If you have any web forms built in Infusionsoft, you can of course add them. We have a couple here. You can add tags as well. Order form, same thing, although this is for different plans. If you have different plans, of course, you'll be able to create order forms. I don't think every plan can, though. So that is all the linking options that we have. Now we're going to go on to image description, alt text. So what this is, sometimes when people open up your emails, they're not going to see images, and that's usually due to security reasons. And so what happens, instead of seeing an image, they'll just see what's known as the alt text. So it's really important, you always want to type in alt text on all images that you have, just a short description of the image. That way if they don't view it, they know exactly what it is. So for this we can type in email header. Another new option Infusionsoft added maybe a couple months ago was the sharpen image option right here. Honestly, I don't think it makes much of a difference. I'd play around with it. Sometimes it doesn't sharpen images, sometimes it does. It's off and on how it works. Alignment, you can choose to align your image anywhere you want. Now, as you can see, I'm pressing the buttons here, but it's not aligning. The reason why is because this is already full screen. It's already the biggest size it can be. Now, if we go up here to my logo, which is a little bit smaller, we can go ahead and align that, and you see it will move finally. For text, as you can see, you just drag, drop it. It explains really everything about it. I'll give you a quick rundown. As you can see, you can bold, italicize, underline. This is how you align text if you want it to be center aligned or block style. You can do that. You can also make a numbered list and a bulleted list. Alright, so this is just the basic text. Now there's some cool things that you can do with the text. Now I'm sure you probably looked in your emails a couple times before, and you've got marketing emails that address you directly by your name. So that is pretty cool. If you've ever wondered how marketers do that, it is through the merge button right here. This is how you do it in Infusionsoft. So to do this, what you're going to do is type in hello space, click the merge button here, and you have a lot of different options of what you want to do. Most common one you see is the contact fields. So you open up contact fields and you can put in their first name, last name, email, title, company, or their phone number. Most common one we see is first and last name. So go ahead, click first name, and you see it inserted this little thing right here. We could put a comma there. Now what happens when we send this email, it's not going to say contact first name like that. What it will say is your actual contact name. So Infusionsoft will automatically detect who it's being sent to. It's going to detect what that client's first name or that contact's first name in your CRM is, and it'll insert that. So this is going to say hello Jim or hello Sally, whatever. It's not going to say contact first name. It'll just say the client's name or your contact's name. Another thing people ask about, let's say you're very picky about what you want your text to look like. How in the world do you change it? Well, this is going to be a little tricky. So usually in Google Docs, up here, you just go ahead and click it, and it has a bunch of different fonts that you can pick and whatnot like that. But you notice on Infusionsoft here, it doesn't have that. You have normal text, heading 1, heading 2. So what happens if you want this to be a different font, or a different color, or a different size? Well, to do that, you're going to go ahead to click design here over on this sidebar, and you're going to see we have the heading styles that you can finally change. So let's say heading 1, we don't want to be Helvetica, we want it to be Lato. So you can go ahead, change it, and you can see the font changed right here. Now you notice on some of these fonts, they do have little stars by them, Lato, Merriweather, Open Sans. What that means is that maybe those fonts aren't supported in all email clients. It tells you here at the bottom. Sometimes email clients won't support certain fonts, so in that case it will default to a font already preset in your Infusionsoft settings. As I mentioned before, you can totally change everything here. You can change the text color, whatever. It's totally up to you. A really cool thing that you can do is change the hyperlink color. So when you insert links, I'm going to go ahead and insert a link right here. I'll go ahead and put my website. And we're going to make this a hyperlink. So to do that, we're just going to create the create hyperlink button. URL, you can do the same thing here actually. You can do landing pages, file downloads, etc. But I'm just going to insert a link. So I'm going to insert my website. Click insert link. And you notice how that's blue. And let's say I don't want that to be blue. All we got to do is come over here to hyperlink color, and we can change that to green or purple. And there's a lighter green. It's really up to you. You can do it to red. Basically, whatever you want to customize it to, you can do that. Another option that we have here on the design tab is email background color. So right now it is white. You can change this to orange, yellow, all these different colors. That's going to change your background. Now it's real important. Some people may not see this, and this is especially true on mobile. Basically all your desktop users will for sure see it. If we go into preview here, it gives a good representation. It's not exact, but you see on mobile, people really won't see it on mobile. Tablet, desktop, yeah, they'll see a little bit of it. It just depends on how large their screen is, and that of course differs from person to person. I prefer to keep it white. If not, I always do kind of an off-white color. And that makes it look a little better. You can also change right here email position. So for this one, I really don't recommend doing it. This is more so for just plain text emails. If you want to do a more personalized feel, if it's just text, no images, you can put that to the left side instead of doing to the middle, and it'll look like a normal email. But since this is a marketing email, we're going to go ahead, keep it centered. It looks nice that way. A couple different things I'm going to show you here. Divider, that's a real important one. If you want to separate your kind of contents of your email, you can do so through the divider. You can change the color of it, although sometimes you may not really see it that well. You can also increase the length if you want it to be full screen or just barely anything. I think 50, right around that range is a good length to have. It's totally up to you. And then a couple other cool ones. Button. For sure you're going to be using that because of course you want to make a call to action. You want them to click something on this email. That's how you make money. That's how you lead them to your website. You can insert a button. You can have the button say anything. I'm going to go ahead and make the button say click here. Once again, you can change the text or the font of the button. You can also change the font color just right here. And then the button color of course can be changed to anything you would like. The alignment, pretty self-explanatory right there. And then you can, of course, link them to a URL or any of the options I mentioned before. Video, YouTube video, you can add YouTube or Vimeo. A lot of videos are supported actually, and of course you can change the size of the video. Same thing, same idea with the image here. If you want the video to be bigger or larger, you can change it there. I showed you guys all that. Now I'm going to show you a really quick and easy way to do exactly what I just did right here, and that is this group. So let's go ahead and insert the group right under there. You see I just inserted the group. It brought in an image, text, and a button right below it. So everything we just did up there can be done just by moving that group button right on over here. I'm just going to fill in our email real quick, make it look a little nicer. Of course you can add multiple rows here, so you can have image on one side and text on the other. The only thing you can't do that I find lacking in Infusionsoft, I wish they supported it, is being able to add things underneath your columns. So if you have multiple rows on just one column, I wish you could do that. Unfortunately, there's no really easy way to do it. You'd have to customize it a little bit through HTML. But as you can see, I'm trying to insert this right below the text, and it either puts it to the side of it or on the bottom. So unfortunately, this will have to do for now. I don't know if they ever plan on adding stuff in like that. Hopefully they do. I think it's a really good feature to have. It makes it look a little bit cleaner. Now this is really important. So let's say you have side-by-side items right here. How is this going to look when you actually email it out? Well, on desktop, this is a pretty accurate representation of how it will look. But on mobile, it's going to change up a bit. So let's go ahead and hit this preview button so you can see my emails right here. But when I scroll down, notice how it's going to put the image right above it and the text below it. That's simply because that couldn't fit otherwise on a mobile device without people having to wear magnifying glasses or whatever. So now you kind of know the flow. It usually goes left to right. So if you have image on the left, that's going to be on the top, and then that will be on the bottom of it. Now another cool feature that they have here is the social media buttons. For these, it's really simple. You just drag and drop and then insert your social media accounts. So we can do facebook.com/27North Enterprises, and then can go ahead add a Twitter one as well. Can add a LinkedIn one. Can add your YouTube channel if you want to add your YouTube channel, and you see on the bottom here it's adding them all in. And you can choose to increase your icon sizes or decrease them. Of course you can align them as well. And that's really all that they have here on Infusionsoft in terms of your blocks. If you have something that doesn't really have a block so far, you can also add a HTML snippet. This is a little more advanced, but as you can see here on the bottom, they're going to remove the following tags just for compatibility, so you can't do everything through HTML, but you still can do a lot of customization options. That's a little advanced. I'm not going to touch on that too much today. Now, this is our email. Let's say it's ready to send out. How are we going to do that? Well, first off, we're going to complete some things. So earlier in the video, I minimized this so we could work on the base of the email. I'm going to go ahead and open it up again. And this is basically what people will see, the very first thing they see. So you're going to have your subject line. Subject line is just like, this is a marketing email. This is, of course, the bold that they'll see, the very first thing. Now, preview text. This is a new feature they've also added. Basically, what this does on all email clients, if you look to the right of the subject line, it will show you a little preview message, usually the first words that it detects in the email itself. Now, there's a couple issues to that. Let's say you don't want to see your very first text for any reason. Let's just say, you don't want them to see hello Jim or whatever in their inbox. We can go ahead and change the preview text to say there is a coupon in this email, and that's going to be the preview that they see to the right of their subject line instead of hello Jim or hello Sally. And that's really useful. You can use that. There's a couple different reasons why we use that, so I recommend always use preview text. Sometimes different email clients will sometimes show alt text, sometimes not. It's kind of weird on how it works. So I always recommend typing in preview text. I'm actually really glad that they added that as a feature. Now you can change the contact owner, or you can change who it's coming from. A really cool part about this is you can manually enter something in. So you can send in hello from 27 North Enterprises, which is our email address. But you want the name to be, Jan from 27 North. And that way it's going to show that it's from Jan from 27 North, and it's sent by that email address. This is really effective if you want to not get any vacation emails. So usually if you send out marketing emails, there's bound to be a couple people who are on vacation and they have an autoresponder set up. So if you're sending out 100,000 emails, you're going to get a ton of vacation responses just automatically saying, hey, I'm on vacation and whatnot. And you don't really want those filling up your inbox. So what you're going to do is you just type in no reply at your domain. You can really do this from any email, and that way those vacation responses just get sent to a different email inbox and not your main one. That's the main use of this. However, if you're a small business, I highly recommend that you keep it at an email that you check. That way you can respond to any customer or inquiries if they click the reply button. I mainly recommend doing the no reply for large companies that are sending out 100,000 plus emails, just because it is really annoying to get 200, 500, vacation auto responses right off the box in your main inbox. That really harms productivity. So now recipients, you can choose specifically who you want to email it to, or if you just want to email it to everybody, the real easy way to do it, just click new search. Don't even input anything in here, just click search, and as you can see, it just populated a new list for me with every contact that I have in my database. So that's the easy way to do it. That's the way I do it. Like I said, you can also send it to specific people, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and close that out because I don't want to accidentally send this email to all my contacts. Alright, so now you have your email. You can go ahead, preview it. This is what it looks like. If it looks good to you, I always recommend testing it, sending a copy to yourself before you actually send it out. That way you can just double check it, see how it looks in your email client. And to test it, you just click the test button up here, and then you can insert your email address and whatnot, and then press send. Once you've done that, you are basically ready to go ahead and send it off. So to send it off, all you got to do is press the review and send button right here, and then once you do that, it's going to go ahead double check that there aren't any typos in your email. It's going to go ahead double check that all your recipients are correct, and it's going to give you one last option to make sure you're very, very sure that you're ready to send that email out. And you can go ahead, press send, and it will send out. So that is how you create your very first email and how to send it out. I hope you guys enjoy, and see you next time.